Hello, Mrs. West. My speech, pretty good. Okay? My speech is about fears. Let's get started. Everybody has fears, you know? And everybody has something that just the thought of it just gives them shivers. But that's what makes life interesting, right? Right. It helps keep us alive. And it triggers our fight or flight. But it can also prevent us from doing fun and exciting things. Facing our fears is one of the most exciting things and accomplishing things that ever happens to us. The rush that you get from doing something that scares you is unforgettable. I have many fears. My biggest fear? Sharks. I despise them. It sounds silly because I rarely go in the ocean. It's almost irrational. But it's a good thing because I'm very cautious when it comes to the ocean. And it prevents me from enjoying things like the beach, which isn't really good though. It's like swimming in an ocean of fears. Just wondering what's underneath me and not being able to see, not having the knowledge of my surroundings. What started my fear was YouTube videos. I used to watch shark videos online, and that freaked me out. And since then, I've hated the ocean. My other fear is growing up. When I was younger, I used to look forward to being a teenager and growing up. I wanted to get my license and I wanted to have the freedom to go wherever I wanted. But I didn't realize that growing up was really hard. As you get older in life, it becomes more and more stressful. Things like Christmas and Halloween just aren't the same. And now that I'm a teenager, I don't want to grow up. I already have a lot of stress, and when it comes to friendship, schoolwork, after-school sports, it's very stressful. But when you're older, you have to worry about finances, getting a job, living on your own, and college. I wish that just for a day, I could go back to my 5-year-old self and just play toys in my room for hours and not have a care in the world. My imagination took over and I wasn't worried about life. I wasn't comparing myself to others, or I wasn't worried about who liked me and who disliked me. I was just enjoying the moment. Another fear of mine is losing the ones I loved. Whether from death or drifting apart, the thought of it freaks me out. Not knowing when your last moment with someone is really scary. And my friends and family are what make me happiest in life. And knowing that there's going to be a day where they aren't a part of my life is an unsettling feeling. After high school, many of my friends and I are going to part ways. And I'm not looking forward to that. It happened to me once in middle school. I was graduating 8th grade, and most of my friends were going to different schools than me. And going through that was one of the hardest things that I've ever gone through because most of those people were like my family. I grew up with them, and I loved them a lot. Personally, I'm interested in people's fears, hearing what frightens people, hearing what led up to that fear, and hearing the stories of their life and of these fears. It's what makes us unique. Everybody has different stories. And those stories are what make up our lives. What make us special. Fears may eat me up inside, but it's what makes life interesting. Because everybody has fears. Now, here's a word from one of our sponsors.
Ask me what I'm afraid of.
What are you afraid of?
I'm afraid of elevators.
Tell us a little bit about this fear, won't you?
I'm scared that I'm gonna get stuck in an elevator and I'm not gonna get out and I'm gonna get stuck and die.
Do you have a story of a time where you got scared in an elevator?
No.
She does irrational fear, ladies and gents. You're supposed to have a story, lady. That's what
I don't have a story.
This whole speech is. Tell us the story.
I don't have a story. I just don't like them.
One time she was in an elevator and it stopped for a little bit and her fear took over and she was like, but it turns out it just stopped on her floor. She was on the set. And this is why fears are interesting, because we all have our own stories.
Yay!
Yummy!
I'm
Bye!
scared of cars.
Okay.